It is time.
This is one of my favorite bands, actually, and it was cool that it was a fan request as well from Mike Greenfield, drummer for Lotus. Wanted you to listen to this, Russ.
Oh, cool.
The artist is The Smile. The Smile comprises of Radiohead members Tom York and Johnny Greenwood with the sons of Kemet drummer Tom Skinner. This came out in May. It's a brand new project they're doing. The album was produced by Radiohead's longtime producer, Nigel Goodrich. Do you listen to Radiohead much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got some cool albums.
I got to see them. We did a festival together the day or the night before, and I purposely went to go see. I love those guys. They're amazing.
Mike Greenfield had some stuff to say about why he picked this song, Mike.
Yeah, so Mike Greenfield said that he picked this song because the drumming is minimal with a light touch that he thought that you'd appreciate. The way that the drums just stay constant under the cross rhythmic melody reminds Mike of First Tube.
Oh, okay.
Let's check it out. The Smile of the Smoke here on Galaxy Jams Reacts.
Ooh, I like that reverb on the snare already.
Kind of turned around the beat. That's cool. The bass player.
The bass has such like an interesting mix that makes it so in front.
Yeah, playing with maybe with a pick even.
I can hear that too.
The phrasing's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just carrying it with bass and drums for like 40 seconds.
Easy. While I'm sleeping, a desire, second chance. I have set myself on fire. It's easy. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. As I die in the flames, as I set myself on fire.
That's doing exactly the one thing I love about Radiohead is that they can be really complicated at times or sometimes be really simple in what they're doing. And the way that Tom York uses his voice just as an instrument and also as a voice, talking about certain things. But just the way that they can produce such a wide sound and they use their effects like reverb and everything to kind of fill in the spaces, something I've always enjoyed. What do you think, Russ?
I think it's got a nice vibe to it, and it's got some emotional content. That's why it was probably 95% of the times why I listen to music, and that's why I like Radiohead because it evokes so much emotion. You know.
Oh yeah.
I could get into playing that kind of song right there. You know, it's just you just hanging tough, man. Just like when I played this West African band. That's what you do. You get a part, man. You're just riding that part out. First Tube, that was kind of a beat from that band, and it's definitely just kind of rolls down the highway. You know what I mean? That's a cool song. That's another one. I gotta get the name of that and start listening to that.
Cool. What did you think, Adam?
EJ, you said very much what I was going to say. Like, so much of the mix is great. Like, with so minimal instrumentation, it's taking up so much space in the mix. It's so present. Right. I'm really very much loving the vocal styles. It feels very intimate. The way it's hitting in the headphones, it feels like it's being whispered right into my ears, and like those bleeding reverbs right in this last part, right where you paused it, is, it's creating such this ambient space that I really love.
I feel like Tom York is so on brand with this song. Do you think when he was singing, they were like more like, I want you to sound more in despair, and I want you to sound more like, like your normal thing that you do, right? And also, just comparing it to the last song that we listened to, again, this is so interesting because the first song we listened to, it's right out the gate. All the tools in the toolbox are out ready to play, right? But this one, it's like they start with just bass and drums, and it's like slowly, they're adding just one or two more layers. And even then, it's like there's not that much going on with this. And you're right, it's the creative mixing is really making the whole entire space gigantic. And I just think it's so fascinating, like the difference between what we just heard and what we're listening to now, the different images they evoke and the different like environments that they're made for, right? The first song I felt like is for like a dance party at a wedding or something like that. And I feel like this song is like an introspective drive while you're smoking a cigarette and contemplating your life choices.
This is definitely driving or sitting in your living room, lights down low, or you have those color changing bulbs. You put on a very like deep red, and then you're sitting with that lifelong friend, and you're just like quietly sitting listening to this song together,
vibing,
so, like having that quiet moment.
Everybody's vibing.
Yeah. I also really like the minimalist video too. Kind of just is more giving a feeling than like telling any actual story.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Radiohead and I don't know if they released anything. Maybe they're just doing these little side projects or something.
I'm obsessed with these like almost dissonant like orchestral pads.
Yeah, and they come in so sneakily too. You don't even really notice them unless you're listening for it, which is perfect.
And we set ourselves on fire. We set ourselves on fire.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. What is the name of that one again? I gotta write that down.
It's
That
called
one
The
is
Smoke.
it's the artist, The Smile, and the song is The Smoke.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool, thank you.
I felt like just at that end there, when it was like his voice kind of rising, it was so weird because it became such high energy to me. But I realized it wasn't anything that much different than the other parts of the song. And it's just so fascinating how they're dealing with such subtle changes to make such gigantic shifts in perception of what the song is or what it's all about.
Right, and we were talking during the song about those little orchestral dissonant swells, which right. And at the very end of that song, like it builds, it kind of almost in my mix, like you usurped the vocals, and then all of a sudden it releases right into that bass line again. And so you've released that tension, and Russ, you'd have no way of knowing this, but I have more of a pop punk, pop rock background, and generally, in the bands I've played with and the bands I've toured with, the bass never gets to shine quite like this, and with very interesting phrasing. So for me, this was a very satisfying listen.
Right.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Bass forward songs are always so interesting in the way that they're put together.
Yeah. I like.
So you mentioned that you stayed after a festival to watch Radiohead, and so you are a very, very well-known and very highly regarded musician. And I'm sure that you've mastered the art of meeting famous people and acting like it's all totally cool, right? So is there anybody that you met that you were like so excited or anxious to meet and like you finally got to meet them? Is there any time at all that you saw someone and you're like, oh my God, it's that person, and then like finally worked up the courage to talk to them? Is there anything like that?
Probably my first real experience. I arrived in LA on my birthday with that Afro fusion band, and we were staying with the percussionist who plays with this guy Leon Russell. I don't know if he was in Mad Dogs. And he goes, hey, want to go to Leon's house?
You're like, what?
On my birthday, I was drinking whiskey in the afternoon with Leon Russell,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was a big fan still, and his music is very moving to me. And he used to come to our gigs, and then like Leon wants to say hi to you, and like I'd be so nervous.
That's awesome.
Leon was, I think, yeah, probably he was the first guy I met. Actually, I take that. Let's see who else. I used to live in Woodstock, New York. There's a lot of famous musicians that lived there too. Paul Butterfield.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Paul Butterfield used to live right up the street from me. And then I'm trying to think, because I ended up working at this restaurant, and I go, wait a minute, that's Jack DeJohnette. Or like, oh, this is this guy. It's like they would come to the restaurant, or meaning like Eddie Offord, who produced Yes. It was just like,
Oh, wow.
he was making a mess of himself. I'm like, this guy produces Yes?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
He was seeing Sideways, man. I was like, whoa. Or like, whatever. Yeah, John Sebastian. A lot of people lived there, that whole era, But whatever, I'm going off here. But
I bet that's
Very
probably
cool.
Leon. Leon was the guy, because I would have loved to play music with that guy,
All right.
I don't
So, yeah, I think that everyone would want that.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show, and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.